Did you miss me? Today, the sun is shining and we are in Dock 29 down by Clarence Dock. It is lovely, drinking Camden Pale, mediocre. It's a gorgeous day and I've got loads to talk to you about. The difference between the guys at the very top of our market and the guys at the bottom end of our market is that often I find the people who aren't performing and whose careers aren't doing particularly well are the ones who are what I call mealy-mouthed. If 53% of the customer journey is already done by the time you get there, the reality is we've all got to become trusted advisors in the modern selling economy. If we're going to become trusted advisors in the modern selling economy, we've all got to have an opinion. If we've got an opinion, you've got to tell the truth. And if you've got to tell the truth, you've got to have the nuts to tell it exactly like it is. So I'm sitting at my desk the other day, feeling a bit sorry for myself really, just wasn't enjoying work. Couldn't work out why. And I'm thinking, what is it that's bothering me? What's winding me up? What's doing my nuts in? And I realised that I wasn't enjoying the engagements I was having with my clients. And for me, a lot of what makes my work enjoyable is the ability to be what some people I guess call a trusted advisor, to truly tell the truth to a client. So I had a little word with myself. I get back to my desk and actually I've got an appointment to meet a CEO of a Gartner Magic Quadrant software vendor in a few days' time, and I think, right, this fella is going to get the radical, honest truth. So I'm meeting him for a coffee at a show down in London, and he's a bit time pressed. So he's all hurried and he turns up for the coffee, and I think, right, time for some radical honesty. And he's asked me for the meeting, I've not asked him to go. And he's the CEO, he's not the sales director, he's the CEO. So I open up the conversation with, listen, I think there's a reason you've asked me to come for a coffee with you today. I think you're worried that you've got a serious recruitment problem and you want somebody to give you an opinion as to why and how. And he goes, right, you've got it, keep talking. So I say, well, here's where you're at. And I hit him with a load of reasons why he's in trouble. Some quite deep stuff. I explained to him, you know, you've had 5 sales guys come through the business in the last 2 years. LinkedIn shows that, so anybody smart can see it. I explained to him that his in-house recruiter is asking ridiculous questions during an initial phone screen, which is putting candidates off. I explained to him that his sales leaders aren't really selling the job. I explained to him that it's not a particularly sexy part of the market, and he says, keep talking. 15 minutes later, he's got up, he's gone back into the conference with a final parting shot to say, speak to my secretary, we're going to organise to do some work together, and actually it's turned into a fabulous project. So what's my point? My point is, it felt amazing to absolutely give it to the guy with both barrels. No messing about, no skirting around the topic, no dancing around it. He asked me my opinion and I gave him it. And in the market that we live in, we've got to give our customers and we've got to give the people we work with this radical honesty. For anybody that watches IRC Book Club, you'll know every month we review a sales book, we talk about it, and then we meet the author at the end of every month. Every month, in every book, every author and every thinker about the subject of sales talks about the importance of being a true subject matter expert. And if you're going to be a subject matter expert, then the guys that are the ones that really cut it are the ones who have that brutal honesty about their subject matter to take them to the next level from being a bloke who knows his market to being actually, and I hate the phrase, but I'm going to use it, a trusted advisor. A lot of people walk through our door and they're in a dark place often when they walk here, and that's not because the lights are off, but because actually they're in a bad way with their career. And often there's a really strong correlation between one phrase that comes out of their mind, and it's usually they'll tell you that they're a really good relationship builder. And often the problem with viewing yourself like that at an identity level is the relationship builders tend to not want to displease or be overly honest with a client. The problem with that is it eats away at you. eats away at your self-esteem. It eats away at the very essence of what makes you a trusted advisor. And it's that little moment when you know that the client is wrong, that little moment when you know you want to say, no, Mr. Client, that's pretty stupid actually, but you can't quite bring yourself to say it in a firm but pleasant way because you don't want to perhaps upset the client and damage the relationship. It's those moments that just seem to break people little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit. And for me, it's that little radical moment of non-honesty, those little moments that just crush people. There's an extrapolation effect in sales. The extrapolation happens when a customer meets a sales guy. He extrapolates how his relationship is going to be in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months at a subconscious level, based on how the salesperson has been with him during the course of the process. So if you're mealy-mouthed and you're holding back and you're not as radically honest as you need to be now, the client's going to extrapolate that that's how you roll. That's how your company rolls. That's how your product rolls. So it's not worth it. I know it's hard to be brutally honest, but one of the richest men in the world, Ray Dalio, he built his whole business on radical honesty, brutal, radical truth, and it works. The opposite of not being radically honest is gentle dishonesty. Actually, the salespeople that I meet who don't do radical honesty, who don't do brutal honesty, actually, they're gentle liars. They do gentle deception. But the gentle deception is deception they themselves are unaware of. And that deception mounts up and up and up and up until they become like Willy Loman in Death of a Salesman. They don't realize what they've become is a lying, fawning, sycophantic salesman that hopes that his customer is going to be all right with him and thinks too much about the relationship. And the final thing for me as to why radical honesty is so important, it just feels bloody great. It's nice going into a client and telling him it like it is and being a genuine trusted advisor, not a mealy-mouthed sycophant, but an advisor, somebody who tells them it like their doctor would tell them it, somebody who tells them it like their lawyer would tell them it, somebody who tells them it like their accountant would tell them it, who gives them it both barrels in a nice way that they can digest and understand. Feels good. Makes us feel good about our profession. So that's me, another Pint with JG, Dock 29, beautiful day. We've got the water taxi here. Who'd have thought there was a water taxi in Leeds? Do me a favor, if you're still watching, hit the like, share and follow button now. Good day.